Good morning, Elmira Baptist Church. It is July 5th. Normally I do this on Thursday. It is Friday. Yesterday I took the day off. It was the 4th of July, Independence Day, and I read some, spent time with my family, had some friends over, just enjoyed my day. So I'm meeting with you today on Friday, July 5th, to update Elmira Baptist Church. 2 Corinthians 3:17 says, "Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." The quote of the day is from Theodore Roosevelt. Listen to what he had to say over 100 years ago. Quote, "To judge a man merely by success is an abhorrent wrong, and if the people at large habitually so judge men, if they grow to condone wickedness because the wicked man triumphs, they show their inability to understand that in the last analysis, free institutions rest upon the character of citizenship, and that by admiration of such evil they prove themselves unfit for liberty." End quote. I want to give you some stats about Vacation Bible School. I meant to give these Sunday night. I meant to do several things Sunday night that I regret I did not. But here are the stats for Vacation Bible School. We had 41 children for our high day. There were 6 professions of faith, and the children gave an offering to the Van Winkle family. We support that missionary family, $153.25. $153.25. This Sunday, in light of yesterday being Independence Day, I want to focus on a phrase from the Declaration of Independence. It is entitled "Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness." Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you would take time to read Psalm 144, I think that would be a help to you, especially focus on the last 3-4 verses there of Psalm 144. And if you've not read the Declaration of Independence in some time, you might take some time to read it. There's a large section in the middle that gives the colonists objections to the rule of King George III, but there's a couple paragraphs at the beginning and, of course, the paragraph at the end, very important to us as Americans. And that phrase, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then in Sunday evening, I want to talk about Elmira Baptist Church culture in times of change, and we'll be looking at Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. Now, this past Wednesday we met, men and women in here. We'll be doing that throughout July and into August. And we talked about 4 pillars of our church's culture. And we only got 3 in. We'll get the others. If you missed that, can I encourage you, please, see if you can catch that on sermon audio. I believe there's an audio version that will be posted later today. And listen to that at least. And then come on out Sunday night after having read Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. And let's talk about how Elmira Baptist Church culture will remain the same even though things around us, our circumstances, may be changing. Here are some upcoming events. Tonight, Friday, July 5th, the teens and their parents are meeting at the Custer's house, 6:30. Tomorrow, July 6th, is the car wash, and the children and teens will be receiving donations so that they can raise money to go to camp later on this month. Come on out, 10:30 to 1:30, have your car washed, give them a donation. And then on Sunday, July 14th, a week from this Sunday, Ken and Andrea Jack are going to be with us both in the morning and in the evening. I could still use someone to host them if you are interested. I have a plan if you are not. And number 2, a couple of meals, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, a chance for you to meet the Jack family. And then on Sunday, July 28th, is our next food and fellowship. And the theme, I like this one, it's too hot to cook. But you bring what you'd like on that Sunday, July 28th. We'll have a time of food and fellowship and follow it up with a praise and testimony time. We missed our last praise and testimony time in June because Adam Hatfield was with us, so I'm looking forward to this one. I want to update you for the news today on our building project. Boy, it is going swimmingly, and I mean that. The Lord has been very good to us. There are men working in there today to tape and mud, and that's a process in which they are working on the sheetrock in there, the plaster in there. And I think we're going to be ready to paint and hang doors on the interior here in a couple of weeks, Lord willing. I want you to pray with me that the Lord will bring in the money that's needed for this project. I don't have an exact number. I've been asking and don't have an exact number, but I believe that we will need tens of thousands in order to get into the building. And then remember, getting into the building means that we get that last third of the grant money. And Lord willing, I'll be talking more about that on Sunday night. And that's why coming on Wednesday, coming on Sunday night, or at least catching up with those messages is so important, because it'll keep you informed about what's going on, but also where we are headed. Please be praying for John and Kathy Nordstrom. The Thompson fire near Orville has affected them. I'm not exactly sure if they're in their home yet or not. I know that many of the people that were evacuated have been allowed to return home. I've not heard that about them yet. Okay, final thing today to the devotional from 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 17. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Liberty, it's a good word. We call it Independence Day, and we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What is that liberty? Well, I can tell you what liberty is not. Liberty is not the unlimited ability to do what I want. Liberty is the unhindered opportunity to do what I should. Liberty is not a choice, for example, whether I'm going to worship with my church on Sunday or not. I have liberty. I don't have to go. I can stay home and worship from home. That's not liberty. Liberty is the freedom from sin's bondage on Saturday night so that you're fresh and awake and ready to worship with your fellow brothers and sisters on Sunday morning. Liberty is not just having a good time and doing whatever pleases your flesh and then worrying about the consequences later. That is not liberty. Liberty is being led by the Spirit and sowing to the Spirit and persevering in well-doing so that God is magnified when you reap. Liberty is the freedom to seize opportunities and to act when they come. Let me use this analogy. Imagine you have a young couple. They get married, and they should. God blesses them. They get married. They decide they're going to mortgage a house, and they decide they're going to borrow money to get those 2 cars. And they decide also that they are not only going to borrow to get the 2 cars, but they're going to max out a couple of credit cards and furnish the house the way they want it. And here they are, just getting started in their career. Husband's working, wife is working, and now they have all this debt, and God sends them a child. Are they at liberty for the wife to stay home with that child? It's going to be pretty hard. Imagine there's a second couple. They also, blessed by God, marry each other. They're frugal, careful to not take on any more debt than they absolutely have to. In fact, if they can't, they don't take on any debt at all, and God sends them a child. Are they at liberty for the wife to stay home so that she can raise the children? See, the second family is the one that has liberty to make choices based on what God calls them to do rather than what they have to do to keep up with the mortgage, what they have to do to keep up with the Joneses. Same 2 families. Now they have a couple of kids, and one is, like he said, just swimming in debt and just barely keeping their head above water. The other is relatively free of debt, and then God calls both of them to go to the mission field. He says, I want you to leave the country where you're at. I want you to go to a new place far away. This family first has to figure out how to sell the cars. Hopefully they don't have to sell them at a loss. How to sell the house. Hopefully it's not underwater. How to pay off those credit cards before they can go. They are not at liberty. This family is at liberty to say, okay, God, you're calling us. We're going to step out by faith. We're going to go. You see, this family may have seemed to have more liberty. Hey, we have liberty to buy stuff. Hey, we have liberty to borrow money. Hey, we have liberty to get a new house. But that isn't liberty. Because liberty is the unhindered opportunity to do what I should. Liberty is the freedom to seize opportunities and act when those opportunities come and when God calls me to act. Are you at liberty? Let me remind you what our verse says again. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. I hope to see you Sunday. We're not going to talk about liberty on Sunday, actually, not at length. There's another topic that I hope to share with you. So join us. We'll meet at 9:45 for Sunday school, 11 o'clock for morning worship, and then again at 5 o'clock for evening worship. Be at liberty and be there.